Are you looking to move to St. Thomas, Ontario? Well, today we are in St. Thomas and we're going to talk all about St. Thomas, what it's like here in St. Thomas, a little bit about the housing, the history, and we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel, well, welcome. If you're looking for a place to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, working, playing, and the good and yes, the bad about St. Thomas, Ontario and London, Ontario, well, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for notifications so you'll be the first to know about the housing market here in the St. Thomas and London area. My name is Dania Parker-Smith and I get calls and emails every day from people just like you who are looking to move in and around the area of St. Thomas and London. So it doesn't matter if you're moving in 3 weeks or 3 months, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and my team and I can get you started on a smooth relocation to the London area. Well, as we talked about today, we are in St. Thomas. We are going to be going over the neighborhoods. We're going to take you through a tour of the neighborhoods. I'm going to take you downtown and show you a little bit of that. We're going to stop at a coffee shop. We're going to go over to the railway market and take a little tour through there as well. But right now, I am so excited. This is my first time standing in front of this as well. But as you can see behind me, we have a large elephant. Now, why in the middle of Ontario would we have a large elephant? Well, I want to share this with you because back in the early 1800s when Barnum and Bailey actually had their circus and were touring, they were here in St. Thomas and this was their elephant Jumbo. Now Jumbo was one of just a very famous elephant that they had. People would come to see him all the time, and tragically Jumbo got out of his cage where he was staying while they were here and he was hit by a locomotive and he died. Now that was a very sad story, but the city of St. Thomas erected this big statue that we see right here in honor of Jumbo. But later on, Walt Disney actually took the story of Jumbo and was inspired by it to create the movie Dumbo. So now we have a little bit of a history here about some of the things that happen here. We're going to talk a little bit in a minute about the history of St. Thomas. This is the Jumbo Memorial Park, but right here we are right over top of Sunset Drive here. This is a major avenue that comes into the city of London, or the city of St. Thomas, right? And then right down here where we see that intersection way down there, that is where we have the elevation park that is a trestle bridge that goes right over the highway that you can walk, and there's metal sculptures and different things up there for you to see. A really amazing space. So one thing about St. Thomas is that there are so many parks in the community. People can get out and walk. There's no reason for you not to be getting out and enjoying the nature. Down here at the Canada Railway Station here in St. Thomas. Now, St. Thomas was known as the Railway City. The reason being, in 1914, there were 8 different railway lines that were coming through here. It was a main junction between Buffalo, New York and Detroit, Michigan. And at any point in a day, there was 100 trains coming through this city. And so it was nicknamed the Railway City. Now, this city has come a long way since here. As you can see here, the railway station that was behind me, no longer used as a railway station, but because of COVID, well, it was turned into a market marketplace, but because of COVID, it is closed. I was hoping we could go in there, but it is not reopened yet. Hopefully soon we will see that. So we are just off of Talbot Street downtown, and Talbot Street most of the downtown area, the downtown shops are down there, but that The downtown core in the early 1900s experienced a fire, and most of the buildings were destroyed, so it was rebuilt. But there are older buildings that are still there, and so downtown core. Now, St. Thomas has sprung up in a lot of ways where there are different places. There is a mall, there is a theater here, there are public libraries or recreation complexes. It has its own great hospital. You have a lot of great health care here. I have so many clients and friends that live down in this area that, you know, they love it being here. They love all the things that they can do here, being close to everything, being close to the United States, being close to the lake, being close to London. So, you know, there's so much to do and to experience here in London. Now, so I'm over here on Talbot Street, right in front of the Fritter Shop. See if you can see that here, the Fritter Shop. And I'm always up for a good fritter, so we are just gonna go in there and just check out what they have and have a little taste test. Let's go on in. Hi there, how are you? Good, I hear this is a great place. I'm a local realtor and I'm doing a little vlog tour through St. Thomas, and I thought I'd come in and check out what you have and maybe grab a few goodies. What do you recommend? Look at this.
Known for our fritters.
Yes.
The most popular item we have. Another thing that people like are the boards on the bottom there.
Yeah.
And everything
Made from scratch. And you guys have been here since 1989? Is that what or 1998? Is that right?
something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't worked here quite that long.
Oh, okay.
I think that sounds about right.
And I'm a fritter person. Maybe I'll take 6 apple fritters.
Okay.
That's all.
So it's 35 altogether.
One debit.
Right? Tap duty just on that way.
Oh, I don't do tap.
Oh, no problem.
Sorry.
Don't worry, people who don't do tap.
Not on my debit. Okay, I am back in my car and I have been over to the fritter shop like we saw. And I'm just gonna take a little bite. Look at these. Oh, they're still warm. Pure apple in there. It's like a little apple pie. Yummy. If you're from Canada or you're from anywhere in North America, apple pie, apple fritters, all about that. If you want to get these in St. Thomas at the Fritter Shop on Talbot Street, you can get them. They have all sorts of them there. Thank you so much. Hey, well, we are just here at our very first home on our stops today, so we're going to get out and take a little bit of a walk around this street. We are close to Fairview and Elm Street in St. Thomas, a great family neighborhood that will allow you to raise your family, access schools, all of those pieces, but we're going to talk about them as I walk through the neighborhood. Let's go. Now, this neighborhood that we're going to be looking at is just about 50 years old, about 50 to 55 years old. The homes here in this neighborhood, this particular one, are split levels. They're brick and vinyl siding. Most of them have been very, very well taken care of. Now, there was a home recently that's down the street, and we're just going to go by it. Just like we said, brick and vinyl siding. Recently listed for $624,900. It's 4 beds, 2 baths. Now, a home like this will run you about, by the time offers are taken on it, probably high 600s, low 7s, maybe even higher in our market. It's been a little bit unpredictable, but here we see this home. You can see great shape. Now, it's hard to tell about the landscaping here at this time of the year because we are March right now, beginning of March, and we do see a lot of snow still on the ground. The weather can be a little bit unpredictable at this time of the year, but you know, today we're sitting just around freezing mark right now. It's a little chilly out here, but Sunday's supposed to be plus 15 degrees centigrade. So as we can see, this neighborhood, we have split levels, we have bungalows, brick bungalows, and the taxes in this neighborhood will run you about $3,000 a year. Now, the one thing that's what's really nice about St. Thomas is the fact that the taxes are very reasonable in this community. Now, this particular neighborhood that we're sitting in right now is very close to the Lake Margaret Conservation Area, which is really a lot of newer builds, but it has walking trails. Pinafore Lake is close to there as well, so it's a great place to get out and walk. But this particular neighborhood as well, when I first turned the camera on, you'll see that I was literally on a pathway. Now that's what we call a cow path, or a short walkway between two neighborhoods. And so right here, you could literally steps away access this pathway, and there's a little public school, elementary school, from junior kindergarten all the way up to grade 8, just literally through that pathway and across the road. So it's a great space for people to raise their families, let them walk to and from school. This is a neighborhood where you would have it as well, but a quiet neighborhood that people love to live in and have a sense of community. Now we're going to be heading on over to another price point that's a little higher, over closer to the Lake Margaret area, and we're going to get after that right now. So here we are on the other side of Elm Street from where we were previously, and this community is a little newer. About 2015, we have a lot of mixed homes here that are brick and vinyl as well, but 2-story and bungalows, which is nice because St. Thomas is well known for having people who want to retire and they come down here and they may not want a 2-story home, so they can get a bungalow that is newer and in a great space. But we have this street here. The homes are a little higher value, given that they're newer. They're a little larger than the last neighborhood that we were in. This home that's here behind me here recently listed for the $700,000 mark, but we do know once again, seller's market is going to go over asking. It is about 2,200 square feet. The taxes in this neighborhood are a little higher than the other ones given the age of the home, but it is about $4,000 a year for the taxes here. We have, this home is about 3 bedrooms and 2 full baths and 2 half baths. So we can take a good look here in the neighborhood of the homes. You see that they're a little newer than the last ones. $700,000 about, so most of the homes in this area are probably going to be asking about that same amount of money. One thing to note about being in a newer neighborhood, and you will see here, and you can, as I turn around, the home or the trees that are around, even though there's no leaves on the trees, you can see that the trees are smaller. That's because it's not a very mature neighborhood, given that it's only 7 years old. So there's not a lot of trees. These are great homes. They're newer. They're well built. We have some really great reputable builders in the area. You'll see the different colors of bricks that we have here in London and in Ontario in the St. Thomas areas. We have some of the browns. We have the deep rich reds, and a lot of the homes here, you'll also notice, are the driveways. The driveways are concrete, not asphalt. So the last neighborhood we were in, the driveways were more asphalt than they were concrete, but here we have concrete driveways, and then we also have stone pavers. So those are the kind of driveways that you're going to see in this neighborhood. People that live here, usually dual income families. We are still close to Pinafore Park in this area. And now we're going to go from this neighborhood and we're going to pop on over to another one that's a little higher price point. But before we go, I just wanted to take note that around this neighborhood we do have a Catholic high school. There is another elementary school or public school. So we have all sorts of schools here. Everybody can go and attend from kindergarten all the way up till they finish high school as well. But I think the high school that's around here is actually a Catholic high school. So the one thing to note about Ontario is that we do have two school boards. One is Catholic and one is the regular school boards. And then we do have independent schools, and St. Thomas does have some of those. All right, let's head on over to our last home before we end our tour. Well, we are here in our last neighborhood here in St. Thomas on our journey today. I hope you've enjoyed it as we go along. Now we're here in a neighborhood that's about 5 years older than the previous neighborhood, but the homes are much more, they're much larger and they're a little bit higher end. So the homes here are sitting around 3,000 square feet, which is quite large. A lot of them have pools, hot tubs. They're just more higher end. And so we're just gonna come around here. This is a little street that has a cul-de-sac, so it has a little garden in the middle, a little park with a sidewalk all the way around it. It's very, very sweet and quiet here. If you just take a listen, you'll hear how quiet it is in the middle of a weekday on a Friday. Now, this home here in this area was recently listed at $899,000, 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, in-ground salt pool at the back, and a hot tub as well. Now, you'll see here double garage. Now the homes in this area, the bricks you'll see are a little bit different, not quite as intense colors as the last neighborhood we were in. You'll see a lot of beiges and browns, grays, with a little pop of maybe navy. But these areas here, homes are, like we said, about 5 years older. So this one was built in about 2009. And the taxes for this area are a little higher than the last one at around $5,000. So we saw our first neighborhood was 3, the last neighborhood was 4, and this one was 5. Even though this neighborhood is a little bit older than the last one, it still has higher taxes based on the type of properties that they are and the homes that are in the area. So this is will conclude our tour for today. If you found value in this video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon for notifications so you'll be the first to know about the current market here in the St. Thomas and London area. If you are moving within the next 3 weeks or 3 months, doesn't matter, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and me and my team and I can get you started on a smooth relocation to the St. Thomas and London area. Stay tuned as we take a little bit of a tour around St. Thomas. Mm-hmm.